all silkies. In today's video I'm gonna show you how to set up your incubator in order to incubate and correctly hatch your chicken or poultry eggs. The incubator we're gonna be using today is a Brinsea Ovation EX56 incubator. This is a professional automatic digital egg incubator. It has a transparent screen as you can see on the box, so it's really nice in order to see your eggs hatch without having to take the lid off all the time or disturb the actual incubation process of the eggs. We highly recommend using either a Brinsea incubator or an Arcom incubator. An example of the Arcom incubator is this small one that we have here. And here we just have some small guinea fowl eggs that are due to incubate, to hatch and finish incubation in 4 days. But either the Arcom brand or the Brinsea brand is really good for using them. We have quite a bit of experience using both brands and they're really successful. We do recommend that you stay away from the Chinese brands or any other brands that aren't these two, because they can work, other brands can work, but they don't really tend to work as successfully as these two from our experience breeding chickens and other poultry. So we do recommend, like I say, either the Brinsea or the Arcom, any of them. They do various different sizes, various different styles, depending on how many eggs you want to incubate, energy consumption, and things like that. So it's completely down to you which one of them, but like I say, either of these two would be great to use. So let's get started on the video, and I'll show you how to start setting up the incubator. As you can see in here, this is a continuation to our last video on how to correctly store eggs prior to incubation. So this is why you'll see the markings on the eggs. If you've not seen our last video, please feel free to check that out. If you go on our videos, you'll be able to see it in our video list. In our last video we talked about why we mark eggs, in order to know, especially when we incubate more at the same time, which eggs are which. For example, these ones are bearded from pen 0, but we'll also have non-bearded and some eggs from our partridge chickens, which we also marked in order to know which ones they are. So if you look in here, these are our non-bearded eggs, all aligned nicely in there. We have just a small piece of cardboard or the inside of the toilet roll, which you just want to put in there, which wedges all of the eggs together, because this isn't, if you look here, I'll just borrow an egg from here, there's not enough space to stick another one in. As you can tell, that doesn't fit in properly. But also, if I didn't leave anything in there, the eggs would sort of rattle and roll about. So what this little wedge here does, it ensures that the eggs don't rattle around as much, because when they do rattle around in this specific type of incubator, there's a really high chance when they're turning of them hitting off this plastic edge on either side, which would obviously cause them to crack, and there you go, egg failed. No more chick. So it's really important that if you have a small gap, that you wedge it with something, whether it's the toilet paper, cardboard, or normal cardboard, or whatever. After you've done this and you've arranged all the eggs to how you would like them to be, which is what we've done on this half, as you can see in the example, then for this particular Brinsea type of incubator, you have 2 pins here, as you can see. So you're gonna want to leave a gap, one space in there, as if I put it there obviously it won't fit. And you're gonna want to put the top one in there, and then the bottom one in this one, like so. This makes sure that they're evenly spaced out and correctly put in the little peg areas, and then when they go to turn by this mechanism, they do so evenly without disturbing or affecting any of the other eggs. Now, the way we have this incubator set up, we have it plugged into water by this small flexible water pipe. never forget this, it's really important. Water for any incubator is vital, as it will ensure the right humidity level will be kept for the eggs prior to incubation. If they have no humidity, there's a really low chance that they would successfully hatch. So this is a really vital step in setting up your incubator. So obviously you have all of this connected up, and you just gonna want to get a bottle. It doesn't matter what bottle, any that has water right up to the top. Drop this all the way down so that it takes the water from the bottom of the bottle. Don't do it like up or halfway down. Make sure that this does touch the bottom, so that if it does run out of water, that it will continue taking water from the bottom. Whereas if it's in the middle, it'll take water up to the middle and then it will stop from there. So we don't want that happening. So if you can see here, the water will then be pumped through this black nozzle, and then there's this little sort of drainage line over here which drips into the right hand side of our incubator. This particular incubator, if I just lift one of these up here, it has one of these drainage areas with a little water collection spongy type of material that goes in there, and there's a space for that on the right hand side of the incubator and on the left hand side of the incubator. Because we've got this set up that the water runs down and accumulates on the right hand side, we've only set up the accumulation material, the sort of spongy material that comes with it, to soak up the water only on the right. You might get more in a pack, but it's not necessary to put them on both sides. You only put them on the side that you've set up the incubator to drip the water in. So now I'm gonna be putting this back, like so, like I showed you before. And I'm gonna quickly show you how this is. This is just like one of these materials, as you can see. Nothing too fancy. Just whatever you get in the box of it. In the instruction manual it does say to just put it in like that, but when you do, look, it doesn't go in, does it? So what we figure out that is best to do, which we would also recommend to you as a tip, is to just stick it in the lid, and then it won't get jammed over there when you put it in. So you just pack it all in the lid, even this top bit, just squish it all in there, like so. Then you're gonna want to hold it with your fingers so it doesn't fall out. Stick it in, and look at that. A big difference, isn't it? So I've covered most of the things regarding that. So now we'll just continue to put these eggs in. These are the next ones to go in, like I did before. Top one on there, bottom one on there. Then we're gonna want to grab another one, which will put the top egg into there and the bottom one into there. Oh, just knocked over a plant, it's okay. And as you can see here now, you've got these ones here, but you won't be able to put them there. You'll have to go to the next one, otherwise they would clash. So these incubators are really smartly thought out. The people that design them don't make any mistakes. So if you're arranging these together and they just don't fit, just don't risk it, don't break anything. Take your time, have a look at the instructions again, because if they don't fit together, there's a really, really high chance that you're either doing something wrong or that you've not assembled something correctly. So don't risk it. They are expensive. It would be a waste of money to break them. So just be patient, take your time, read through the instructions again. We all make mistakes. So it's, for some people, especially beginners, it's a trial and error. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, to give it a couple of goes when you arrange them in. Like I say, all of these are free moving, and this is how they should be. If there's any restriction at all, you probably haven't set it up right, so you'll just want to take it apart and have another look at that. So now I've got another one of these trays left, and I kept this last one to show you how to arrange the eggs in. So we've got our cardboard here, which I pre-measured before, and try to wedge it in. So you're just gonna want to lay it down on a flat surface or hold it, whichever is best for you. I like to hold it, but maybe you'll see better if I put it like this. Just nicely arrange them like so. You can also hold them down to make sure they don't fly everywhere. I'll put another one in. 2 left. There we go. And then you have finally this wedge, which you can bend over again. Just sticks into there. See? Now, as stable as anything. They're not gonna go anywhere already, which is what you want when before you're putting them in, to reduce the risk of any cracks or damage to the eggs prior to hatching. So again, top egg goes in there, bottom one goes there. As you can see, all of the top ones is taken out here. All of the top ones are dipped down in there. They're all equal. They all move freely, as they should. So pretty much as far as arrangement of the eggs goes, this is how that's done. Now, just to walk you through the instructions quickly. You might have a different incubator, but if you use the Brinsea incubator, this is most likely the type of instruction manual you'll have, with the instructions for setting up your Brinsea incubator. So, some of the most important things to be looking at will generally be temperature, humidity, and turning. These are the top 3 things that you're going to want to make sure that you have running perfectly. So as you see on here, temperature is meant to be around 37.5, which is correct for most chicken breeds. Obviously there is other types of poultry that will vary in temperature, but we do specialize on chickens, so this is also the temperature that we would recommend. This is the relative humidity, which you're going to want to have turned on in the settings. It isn't 20%, but it's automatic, so it does most of the stuff on its own. The turning mode you're going to want to have on, not off. And then this is the turning interval settings. It allows you to set the interval of how often the eggs turn. We usually have this on 70 minutes, but you can have it on various different ones depending on the chicken breed that you keep and breed advice on other people that incubate various different breeds. But for our UK standard Bantam Silkies, we do use 70 minutes intervals between turns. And then the alarm for when the temperature either goes too high or too low. That's up to you if you want to set that up. If you are a beginner and you don't check on your eggs or your incubator all the time, it is a good idea to do that as well. And then you also have cooling. This isn't necessary for poultry as such, or for chickens, so you want to keep away from that really, unless you do any exotic types of birds or anything like that. You won't need to worry about that too much. And then you just save it, okay, cancel it if you made a mistake, and start again. That's pretty much it, so it's not too hard. So I'll put that away. So pretty much we've got this all sorted. And the plugs turn this on. You can hear the fan going. Now over here, if you have a look at this, you can see a little mechanical turning wheel. And you can also see here these teeth. So that mechanical turning wheel has to align with the teeth on this wheel in order for it to function properly. So the best way that you're going to want to do it is you have a handle on this side, a handle on that side. These lids are quite heavy, so you're going to want to hold them like so. And just put your finger just around so that you feel it sliding into place. And then slowly drop it down. Then as you can see here, the mechanical wheel is sitting correctly on the plastic teeth of the bracket that turns all of the egg trays. So this is how you know that you have everything successfully running. All of the eggs have been checked for cracks or any damage or any issue. They're all fine, they've all been correctly marked. There's also a video available. Our last video we mentioned and talked about how we do this correctly prior to incubation. So everything's arranged nicely, the lid's on properly, the water's connected, it's all plugged in, it's all been set up. like I talked about in the settings. This is an automatic incubator, so it does most of the things that you want it to do on its own. So it's a pretty good one to use. And yeah, this is pretty much it for today. We're really happy if you've watched up to this far, and we hope that our videos helped you, especially if you're a beginner. We know how tricky it can be, so it does make us happy to help beginners, because it's a lovely hobby to be in, and we hope to get more hobbyist breeders like us doing something that they enjoy. So, like I say, pretty much it. And once these eggs will hatch, in a couple of weeks time, we'll be making another video showcasing what we got, which I'm sure you'll be really excited to see as well, as much as we are. So, yeah, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share and like, and we hope to see you next time. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook and Instagram if you'd like to see more content from Fur and Fur Silkies. It's been great having you here. We hope to see you next time. See you later.